This is the inside of the Elddis Majestic 115. If I firstly move to the main control panel, I can turn the 12 volt on, just here. After that we have water pump on and off just here. We need the water pump on so we can get water out of the taps. We also need the water pump on so we can flush the toilet and fill the boiler if it's being drained down. Whenever the pump is in operation, a green light will appear just here to let you know. We then have the main isolator for all of the onboard lights. These can then all be individually turned on and off on their own switches. Warning light on and off just here. And then this button here gives us a condition of the leisure battery, and then this one here lets us know how much water is in the fresh tank. The large switch just controls the top lighting just here. For heating and hot water, we just need to come to the whale control panel just here. If I start with a water heater, as you see, as I begin to press the button, icons appear until we eventually end up back it off. So if we start with the first icon here, this is the boiler's frost protection. So if you don't necessarily want to be heating hot water in the boiler itself, you can just pop it onto this one here and it will just put a residual amount of heat into it to avoid frost damage. Next we have a single wavy line. Wavy lines represent mains electricity. So at the moment now I'm heating hot water on the mains using roughly about a kilowatt. Next we have main supply again, and this time at about 2 kilowatts. So these two settings just dependent on the amperage of the site you're on to try and avoid tripping. If we have no mains connected, we can heat hot water on gas with a little picture of the flame. And if we have both power sources, we can also run in dual fuel, so a mixture of gas and mains at 1 and a mixture of gas and mains at 2 kilowatt. These dual fuel settings are very handy, especially in the winter months if you want to get up to temperature nice and quickly. Whenever the unit is consuming gas, you will get a little flame appear to let you know. If I now move down to the heating, you will see we have similar icons again until we eventually end up back it off. So again, we have a single wavy line, and again this is main supply, but this time roughly at about 500 watts. We then have two wavy lines, main supply at about a kilowatt, and then three wavy lines which is main supply at 2. So again, just dependent on the amperage of the site you're on. Again, if we don't have main supply, we can run on gas, and if we have both power sources available, we can again run in dual fuel. Temperature control just on the plus and the minus here. This little picture of a moon is what Whale recommends if you need your heating whilst you are asleep. Because it's a low temperature, it will just keep the motorhome at about 16 degrees. And again, we will get a little flame appear once the unit is consuming gas. If there is a problem with anything in any shape or form, you will get red exclamation marks appear. If it's a water heater issue and you've got a red exclamation mark, just literally hold down the water heater button and then you'll get a series of red lights appear, and then within the manual it will tell you what the problem is. And if it's a heating issue, again just hold the heater button in, series of red lights, and again it will let you know what the problem is. If it's an easy fix and you rectify the problem, you will still need to reset the control panel, and the way to do this is just by holding the water heater button in and pressing the plus button to reset the water heater. And if you need to reset the heating, hold the heater button in and again press the plus button. If I now move to the bench seat just here and just remove the cushions, and I now just lift up, you'll see underneath here that we have the back of the battery box just here, and then we have the gas isolation tap just there for the boiler. We don't need to do anything with it, it is more for maintenance than anything else. I always say if you do smell gas in the motorhome, go to the source and turn off the gas bottle. The boiler is just located here. To drain the boiler down for winterization, it's all just done on the yellow lever just here. Firstly, before draining, make sure that the water pump is turned off, and then all you need to do is just turn the lever across and it will then begin to drain the boiler down. I always suggest that if you are fully winterizing the motorhome, that you then also go around and open up all the taps inside the motorhome, because this will help release any airlocks in the system and help it drain down far more efficiently. When it comes to refilling the boiler back up again, make sure the lever is back in this position. Close all the taps in the motorhome, fill up the fresh water tank and turn on the water pump, and then it will begin to refill the boiler. Let the pump run for a few minutes and then begin opening the taps up. They'll cough and splutter as they force the air out of the system. Once the water is running freely on both hot and cold, reclose, and then the system will fully reprime itself. If I now just move across to the other bench seat and again just remove the cushions, and again just lift up, you'll see that we have the back of the gas locker just here. We then have the intake for the space heater and the gas isolation tap for it as well. We then have the consumer unit just here. So we have all the trip switches along the top. So we've got all the individual MCBs, and as you can see, labelled. And then we have the main RCD and the test button just here. Beneath that we then have the 12 volt fuses, and again they are all labelled up. So if anything is not working on main supply, just check to see if you've tripped. And if anything is not working on 12 volt, just check to see if you've blown a fuse. Tucked right at the very bottom here is the fresh and waste tank heaters. So if the switch is off like so, they are completely and utterly inactive. If I now flick it down, they are now ready to go. So if the switch is like so and there are water in either of the tanks and the temperature outside drops below about 3 or 4 degrees, the tank heater will come on to avoid frost damage. The battery charger just sits at the back of the consumer unit just here, so just make sure that it is ventilated. In the wardrobe you will find the solar panel regulator. You do not need to do anything with this, it will just smart charge the leisure battery as it's required. Also, the freestanding table is located in here, and then just by lifting this section up here you can see the location of the water pump. Avtex TV just here, and before using the television just go above to where the TV aerial is located. So on the back wall we've got the digital amplifier for it, on and off just here. Do make sure that it's turned on before trying to tune a telly in. Control the boost just here. And then to raise the TV aerial up and down, unscrew like so. Twist it around to get it into the position you require and then lock into place. At the moment the aerial is in the horizontal position. it can be flipped into a vertical position for additional tuning if required, and all you need to do is just turn the tail. Always make sure that the aerial is down again for travel. With the Avtex TV, it behaves like any other TV, on and off just here. This is running 12 volts, so it's plugged in just here. It does have a DVD player as well, just located in the side here, and then on the top here we also have USB connectivity as well. We then have the TV guide just here, up and down to pick whatever you want to be watching. And as you can see at the moment, the signal is a little bit scrambled, so it needs to be retuned in. And obviously to retune it in, all we need to do is just press this button just here, and it will take you straight back to the retune menu. And then all you need to do is just hit OK, and then it will then reprogram itself back in again. Two main sockets just there, and we also have two USB charge points as well. Microwave just here, and this will work when the motorhome is connected to main supply. Do make sure that all contents are removed for travel. We have quick start just here, and then stop. We also have power settings up here, very handy to lower it if you are on a low amp site. And then we have all the normal stuff, wait time, defrost, etc. And then we can just set the timer at the bottom here. We then have the hob with the electric hot plate, which, like the microwave, will work when the motorhome is connected to main supply, and it operates just here. With the gas burners, it's just a matter of pushing in, twisting and pushing the igniter. Beneath that is the grill, and again push in, twist and push the igniter. And the oven. Beneath the oven we have storage, but you'll also find gas isolation taps for it, and the bottom one being for the fridge. There is also a plug plugged in at the back, which is for the electric hot plate. With the fridge, we're currently in the off position just here. To run the fridge on main supply, just turn to the little picture of the 2-pin plug. After that, we have 12 volt maintain, which is the setting we have it on to keep the fridge cold whilst on the move. It will only work when the engine is running, and the fridge needs to be dropped down to temperature before use. Lastly, we have the fridge on gas, and to light it we just need to come across to the temperature control, hold it in, push the igniter, and then this line here will then drift out of the white into the green to indicate that it has lit. Removable freezer box just here. As soon as you turn it back to anything else, it will then automatically put itself straight back out again. Above my head is the Omnivent fan. To use this, firstly raise the roof vent up. And then we have middle button to turn the unit on. And then we have arrows out for extraction and arrows in for cooling. And it's variable fan speed just by pressing. Do make sure that all roof vents are closed for travel. PIR sensor for the alarm just here. From time to time just press the button to make sure that it is operating, as it is wireless and requires batteries. Also make sure that you test both the smoke alarm and carbon monoxide alarm to make sure that they are also operating correctly. Washroom just here. So we have the toilet. To open to the cassette, just slide the grey lever across and then push the flush just here. Do make sure that the water pump is turned on, or otherwise it will not flush. Level indicator just here to let you know when the cassette needs emptying. And then always make sure that you close back up again. If this has been left open and you try to remove the cassette from the outside, it will not come out. So if you do feel resistance, just make sure that nobody's left it open. We then also have the basin just here. And then the shower. The light switch for the washroom is just here. With the beds, you can either have them as singles or a double. If you are going to use singles, you do need to have the seats rotated round as they are at the moment. And the way these seats rotate round is just on the levers just here. And then you can then move the seat backwards and forwards on the centre lever. And then they're also height adjustable on the levers just here. With singles, I always slightly pull this section out and then pull the cushion out and then drop this back one down the back like so. This then means that you're not laying against the wall itself, and as you can see, it gives you a decent sized single bed. If I now just do exactly the same again with the other one, and now as you can see, with both single beds made, you still have a decent sized walkway down the centre. For double beds, it's just a matter of making both sections just meet in the middle, and then once you've done that, just dropping the cushions into place. I personally suggest flipping everything over, as they are a lot flatter on the back, but it is literally just down to personal preference.